Welcome to our training on Modbus technology. In our Modbus training, we will start with an introduction. We will go over what Modbus is, how it works, the differences between Modbus RTU and Modbus TCP, how different kinds of Modbus equipment works, applications where Modbus is being used, and at the end we will answer questions. I'm Maria Limoni, Sales Manager here at ICPDAS-USA. I've been with the company for 9 years and have previously held positions of web developer, application engineer, technical support, and technical sales engineer. I also have Robert Morale from our technical support department, who has over 10 years experience in industrial automation. Later in the training, he's going to be showing a demonstration of Modbus equipment with SCADA software. He's also going to help with answering questions. If you have any questions at any time, please enter them into the chat box, and we'll be sure to answer them at the end of the training. We provide flexible and easy-to-use data acquisition, communication, control, wireless, and software solutions. We're helping customers quickly and easily increase productivity, take and display measurements, log data, conduct analysis, and automate systems. Our products are being used worldwide, and we provide both hardware and software solutions. We make our own configuration utilities, our own IEC 61131 development software, C language and ladder logic development environment, data logging, control, and monitoring software. We also make our own firmware that goes inside of all of our hardware. We have a large factory where we manufacture our equipment in Taiwan. ICPDAS was established in 1993, and ICPDAS-USA was launched in 2001 to support the North and South American markets. We provide free technical support out of our office here in Southern California, and we also provide programming services and training classes. We provide total automation and monitoring solutions for many industries including building, energy, power, oil and gas, transportation, water filtration, and manufacturing. Modbus is a simple and standard, robust, serial-based communications protocol that's used in industrial communications for instrumentation, control, and data acquisition. It was originally published by Modicon back in 1979 for use with its PLCs. Modicon is now Schneider Electric. Modbus is an open communication protocol that's been managed by the Modbus organization since 2004. It's openly published and royalty-free. Data acquisition, abbreviated DAQ, is the process of sampling real-world physical information and the conversion of the sampled data into digital numeric values that can be understood by computers and controllers. This picture here shows a data acquisition computer program running with a trend graph on it, and it's connected to an Ethernet switch, which is connected to a Modbus TCP-based thermocouple input and digital output module. The program takes the temperature data and triggers a fan to turn on or off through the digital input on the ET7018Z module based on the temperature determined by the thermocouple sensor. We provide free, easy data logger control and monitoring software that you run on a Windows-based PC. It's used to implement control and logic operations through simple VB script. It also logs data, displays trending information, can send email alarms based on conditions, and can display information. You can set up a system like this in just a few minutes. You just install free Easy Data Logger and Mini OS 7 utility on your PC. Then you configure the ET7018Z's IP address with Mini OS 7 utility, configure Easy Data Logger, and then you can show, log, and graph data all on the PC. Modbus RTU allows for communication between up to 255 devices in one network. For example, a computer can collect temperature and humidity levels from Modbus RTU-based devices in different areas in a building or manufacturing plant. Modbus is often used to connect a supervisory computer with RTU remote terminal units in SCADA, supervisory control, and data acquisition systems, so you can see the status of the equipment on a PC. It's also widely used in applications like energy management, machine automation, remote monitoring systems, wastewater processing systems, and building automation systems. Modbus applications are easy to deploy and maintain. Each Modbus device in a network is given a unique address. In serial Modbus RTU networks, only the node assigned as the master may initiate commands. In Ethernet-based Modbus TCP networks, any device can send out a Modbus command. One master device is usually configured to send the Modbus commands. A Modbus command contains the unique Modbus address of the destination device. Only the destination device will act on the command, even though other devices might receive it. It's kind of like broadcast communication in UDP. All Modbus commands contain checking information that ensures commands arrive intact. The basic Modbus commands can instruct an RTU to change a value in one of its registers, control or read an I/O port, as well as command a device to send back one or more values contained in its registers. Modbus RTU being an open protocol derived from a master-slave architecture. Modbus RTU-based equipment communicates over serial RS-232 or RS-485, which communicates over copper wires. RS-485 communicates over insulated copper wires, two of them that are usually twisted around each other. Modbus RTU supports communication distances up to 1,200 meters or 4,000 feet without a repeater. There are different speeds at which Modbus RTU devices can communicate, like between 1,200 and 115,200 bits per second. It's widely used across many industries and is very reliable for process control, data acquisition, and automation applications. Modbus RTU devices, like our remote I/O modules, can be used with control and monitoring software like Free EasyData Logger, WinPack programmable automation controllers, TPD touchscreen PLCs, embedded programmable controllers, and more. You can also make your own programs, as we provide demo programs and DLLs for using them with C Language, Delphi, Visual Basic, DaisyLab, Indusoft, LabVIEW, and ActiveX programs. With these products, you can use the serial port on your laptop or desktop PC to connect the voltage inputs, thermocouples, strain gauges, RTDs, or any analog or digital sensors. They support operating temperatures of -25 to 75 degrees Celsius or -13 to 167 degrees Fahrenheit. They have low power consumption and require 10 to 30 VDC inputs and are often used in outdoor applications and control panels, as they can be powered through solar power. Our Modbus RTU-based equipment is set up on a computer with DCON Utility, a software utility that allows you to search the network, configure addresses and I/O types, baud rates, parity bit, checksum, and to test the input and output status. DCON Utility can communicate with Modbus RTU equipment through the COM port or a virtual COM port that is set up with an Ethernet to serial converter. M7017 is a Modbus RTU-based analog input module that can measure voltage. It's widely used in the solar industry with solar panels, wind turbines, and inverters. Solar panels and wind turbines produce DC direct current energy. Inverters convert the DC direct current energy into AC alternating current that can be fed into a commercial electrical grid. Daughter boards like current input boards like DN843i can put out a voltage. M7017 takes that voltage so it can be brought back to a computer for data logging, control, and monitoring, so you can measure the energy being produced. The data is logged on a Modbus-based WinPack programmable automation controller running Windows CE.NET operating system, and a VGA port is used to connect to a monitor. We provide free e-logger software that allows you to set up a simple control and monitoring application. Modbus TCP Protocol is a variant of Modbus Protocol that was developed in 1999 to allow Internet and Ethernet-based access of Modbus devices. Modbus TCP-based equipment communicates over Ethernet cabling. Many buildings have Ethernet cabling installed, so adding Modbus TCP devices is very convenient. Modbus TCP Ethernet cabling supports communication distances up to 100 meters or 328 feet. We provide a wide selection of industrial DIN rail mountable Modbus TCP-based data acquisition equipment, including thermocouple, voltage, current, thermistor, RTD, digital, and relay output types. These type of Modbus TCP modules can be used with Daisy Lab, Visual Basic, LabVIEW, Indusoft, or your own custom programs. They also can be used with free Easy Data Logger that we provide. We also have a family that has 2 Ethernet ports, the ET7200 series, so you can daisy chain them over Ethernet cabling. They also have a web server inside, so you can use a web page for simple control and monitoring, where you can press a button right through the web page to turn something on or off, or you can visually see the status right through a web page. Indusoft SCADA software also has the capability of publishing the PC-based control and monitoring software package to a web page for remote access. To set up devices like Modbus TCP-based data acquisition equipment like ET7200 and the ET7000 series, you can connect them directly to a PC with an Ethernet cable, and you can connect them to a switch or hub to get them on the same network. You can use Mini OS7 Utility to set the IP address of our Ethernet controllers and data acquisition equipment so they can be used with other Modbus TCP devices. Modbus TCP-based equipment needs to be on the same network, so each device needs a unique IP address, and each device needs to have the same subnet mask and gateway, much like your computer network. To access the web server for Modbus TCP-based data acquisition modules, you can open a standard web browser, enter in the configured IP address, then you need to enter in the username and password. You can configure the I/O settings, create different users with different passwords, and you can also make web pages for displaying data. You can also, through the web browser, you can change the network settings. So if you want to configure this to be used in a different network than the one you initially configured it for, you can also do that with the web server. Modbus TCP-based ET7000 series are being used in emergency warning systems. They're connected to devices like cameras, smoke sensors, and transmitters. They send signals over the internet to remote devices like web-based LED displays, which display warnings to drivers about the dangers in tunnels and can direct drivers to a better route and keep the roadways safe. Cellular controllers like our G4500 series can operate over 3G cellular networks and support Modbus protocols. They can be programmed in C language and allow for sending text messages and emails based on information from data acquisition equipment. So for our ET7000 series and our and our G4500 wireless device, we also provide the WISE Web Insight Smart Engine family of products. So the hardware is the same as these type of configurable devices, but they have a different firmware inside, so you can configure them through a web page for sending emails based on conditions, also for triggering outputs based on inputs without having to know any programming language. So if you want to look for those on our website, you just can search for WISE, W-I-S-E, in the search box. In addition to remote I/O, we also provide rack-based solutions in case you need to fit many I/O into a small place. They support up to 128 inputs and are used with cartridge-based I/O. You can daisy chain them together over the Ethernet port. So we have Ethernet-based racks. We also have RS-485 Modbus racks. We have many different types of solutions, over 1,000 products. For Modbus over Wireless, we provide Wi-Fi and Zigbee I/O. Wi-Fi is commonly used for Ethernet protocol, and it operates over the 2.4 gigahertz band. It allows you to use Modbus devices with smartphones, tablets, and computers wirelessly over existing or new networks. Zigbee is a self-organizing mesh network that was developed for applications that require low data rate and secure networks. So for Wi-Fi, it's a faster type communication where you can use it for web browsing and communication with different web pages that have advanced functions like JavaScript, but with Zigbee, it's more for low data rate and not for use with web pages. Every Zigbee network needs a host converter so you can communicate back to a PC or controller. It sets up the communication path. The I/O are set up with some dip switches on the side so you can get them to be all on the same network and each one can have a unique address. Zigbee devices are ideal for applications where wireless is inconvenient, and it's a self-organizing mesh network. It's widely used in building, factory, and machine automation. Each Zigbee network has one RF channel and one PAN ID. Each node has a unique node ID. We provide Zigbee Alliance-based products that work with other vendors' Zigbee Alliance-based products. As you can see here, it supports flexible topologies, including cluster, star, and mesh. And the host is the device that establishes the communication path. Each end device works as a repeater, so it's a pretty robust network. And in case there's some obstruction, like a big steel truck in the way, the communication can reroute itself. The host can pick a different route for the communication to get across. Zigbee Wireless I/O is being used in applications where wiring is convenient, like in factories for machine-to-machine type communication. As you can see in this picture here, there's a laptop connected to the Zigbee host, which coordinates the communication path and also communicates with all of the slave devices. Over here, you can see there's a slave I/O module that can turn things on and off, and it can provide the status back to the PC. Over here, you can see there's a slave converter, ZT2571, connected to an HMI input device. Factory workers can input information into the touchscreen, like the count of number of objects serviced or produced. Other I/O modules are located throughout the factory, and there's also serial devices connected to a slave converter over here, and they are all communicating back to this laptop for factory automation. RF modems operate in the 900 megahertz band. So in the previous slide, you can see Zigbee communicates in the 2.4 gigahertz band, much like Wi-Fi. So if you have a lot of wireless traffic in that band, you may want to use the 900 megahertz band. And these ones communicate up to 700 meters, and they support peer-to-peer or multi-point type communication. If you want to use a lot of nodes in the network, I would suggest to use Zigbee over RF modems, but these are good for long-distance communication, just like Zigbee. Antennas can help to extend the communication distance of RF and Zigbee communication up to several kilometers. We provide directional and omnidirectional antennas. As you can see here, the omnidirectional antenna communicates over an oval, and the directional antennas need to be pointed at each other to operate. We provide for Modbus data logging and control configurable WISE 5800 series. It can log data onto a micro SD card in CSV format. It also supports triggering outputs based on inputs, sending emails based on conditions, and also transmitting the data logs over FTP. In case you need to communicate Modbus with other protocols, we also provide protocol converters and gateways, so you can convert protocols like BACnet, CAN bus, DeviceNet, HART, and Profibus over to Modbus, so you can create an interoperable network with devices other than Modbus. They're easy to set up, and some of them are plug-and-play type devices, and some of them are devices that need a software utility that we provide, and you just set up the communication, and it's much just like a language converter. Modbus device servers can allow Ethernet type networks to communicate with many serial devices. So these can help to get legacy equipment onto Ethernet networks for long distance communication. The PPDS and the PDS type series can run a C language program, so you can manipulate the information going across the network, or you can send it to different places. Modbus TCP and Modbus RTU are not the same networks. Modbus TCP is over Ethernet networks. Modbus RTU is over serial. In case you need to use Modbus RTU and Modbus TCP equipment together, you could use a Modbus RTU to Modbus TCP converter like TGW715. It starts at $149, and you can use this to combine networks. Or you can just pull all the data back to your controller or PC and use a Modbus RTU driver and use a Modbus TCP driver to pull both types of equipment into your same program. Free Easy Data Logger is a software that we provide for use with our data acquisition equipment. You can use it with other vendors' Modbus devices as long as you have one of our ICPDAS devices in the network. It supports up to 64 I/O tags, which are words tied to memory locations in the computer that represent the input and output channels from data acquisition equipment. You can also display and log video from web cameras and can send SMS or email alarms based on information from the system. You can also set up virtual channels that can hold information, like if you want to take 5 different channels that are all temperature inputs, temperature data, and then you want to take the average of those temperatures, you could use a virtual channel to hold the average. Easy Data Logger supports layout pages, so you can get graphics from the graphics library and map them up to I/O equipment so you can visually see the status of tank levels, pressure readings, or the status of valves, motors, and other equipment. It supports trending so you can see the status of the equipment in a graph over time. You can also log the data in an Access or SQL database. You can export the data to Excel or CVS, comma-separated value files. An advanced version is available that can support more channels, more alarm contacts, and more web cameras. SCADA is supervisory control and data acquisition software. It runs on a PC and allows you to interface with various equipment like data acquisition modules, PACs, programmable automation controllers, PLCs, programmable logic controllers, embedded controllers, and instrumentation devices. It comes with a large graphics library, so you can use it to create a visual user interface that represents real applications. It also supports advanced scripting, so you can implement some advanced control operations through some basic programming commands. It also supports multi-level user management for security, where different users can have different permission levels for different access to different areas of the program. You can also generate customized reports that can be exported to PDF. You could also create documents that can be viewed in Excel or in text documents. It works with Google API, so you can actually see a real map and you can put your location of your equipment on the map. We do provide GPS type Modbus equipment, so you would be able to see the status of your mobile applications on a map. We also provide many different kinds of Modbus touchscreen PLCs. We provide our own free development environment. It's a drag and drop type program, and you can use C language and ladder logic in your programs. There are PoE options, so some of our Modbus touchscreen PLCs can be powered over Ethernet through a power over Ethernet switch or router. We also provide many different kinds of demo programs, including communication with Modbus equipment and logging data, or interacting with different kinds of data in a client or master type format. They come in 2.8, 3.5, 4.3, and 7.3 inch versions. They're widely used as keypad type remotes or for monitoring and control where the screen displays warnings or events based on operations. HMIWorks is a drag and drop, easy to use development environment. There's a frame design space in the middle that shows what will show on the actual touchpad screen. There's a workspace and toolbox on the left for connecting to and communicating with different equipment. There are inspector and library tabs on the right for setting attributes to items on the screen like color and on-click events. There's a debugging window at the bottom for testing outputs and errors. We offer many functions, graphics, and libraries, so you can also add your own. We provide free programming services for very small projects and also for large projects over $200,000. You can see here that there's a touchscreen PLC located in a control panel, and you can use it to control theater automation. This is a real example from our office in Taiwan. There's a Linux-based programmable controller in the control panel, and there's also Wi-Fi communication established with the LINPACK, and the LINPACK's holding a web server. So the web server program, written in C language, it can communicate over Modbus with the TPD430 touchscreen PLC, which is connected to control the lights, the fan, the air conditioner, and also the projector and the screen. And then you can also control the room from your Android phone over a web page in the LINPACK. So another type of scenario in this same type of application is you could also use a PC to run the web page, like Indusoft SCADA Software could be connected to TPD430, the touchscreen PLC, and you could use that to host a web page too. It's a more easy to set up and you don't need to know programming language type of option. GPRS data servers like GT540 are configurable and can allow software on a PC to communicate with remote Modbus RTU-based devices connected to the GT540 through the internet over the cellular network. They also have 1 analog input, 2 digital outputs, and 6 digital inputs on board. They can send email alarms based on configured high and low alarm levels. M2M RTU Center is software we provide that allows SCADA or other programs on a PC like Easy Data Logger to easily interface with remote devices through our GPRS data server devices like GT540 or G4500. It is an RTU series management tool that supports up to 128 GPRS RTU devices. Modbus Pol is a very popular Modbus master simulator that can be used for testing and debugging of your slave devices. It supports Modbus RTU and Modbus TCP protocols. It also allows you to test and simulate Modbus protocol. You can use it to monitor several Modbus device slaves at the same time. Modbus Slave Simulator allows you to simulate up to 32 slave devices and 32 different windows on your computer. It's convenient for PLC programming, so you can test before you receive your slave devices from your supplier. You can also use it to monitor serial traffic. It also provides OLE automation for interfacing with Visual Basic and Excel. It allows you to do things like read the coil status, input status, holding registers, input registers, write to registers, and things like that. Modbus uses registers to hold the data, and you can access the data and turn things on or off, but basically the status of the I/O and the measurement data, it's all stored in memory registers. Modbus is a C# 3.0 implementation of the Modbus protocol. It is developed and maintained on a voluntary basis and is provided free of charge. You can use it to help develop programs, and many demo programs are available. ICPDAS verified and improved the DLL based on the official release version. Programs can use the DLL released by ICPDAS to develop a Modbus application for regular Windows-based PCs or Windows CE.NET-based devices. The DLL features Modbus RTU Master Slave, Modbus TCP Master Slave, and Modbus UDP Master Slave. These are some Modbus resources that can help you with information on Modbus and tools for testing and communicating with Modbus equipment. Modicon's website, they're the inventor of the Modbus Protocol. Modbus.org is a community for Modbus users. ModbusTools.com provides an ActiveX component and testing tools for communicating with equipment over Modbus RTU and Modbus TCP. And then we also provide some ICPDAS tools for testing Modbus communications. It's called Modbus Master Tool. Some of our company benefits include customized product and OEM capabilities, low lead times, and personalized care. We provide industrial products at competitive prices and keep up with the latest technology. We offer free technical support and offer a wide variety of modular solutions that can meet many different kinds of application requirements.
Okay, thank you, Maria. My name is Robert Morel. Let's see, I'm here to show you a brief introduction of Indusoft. This Indusoft demo is running on my PC right now, but Indusoft can run on a PC environment, a Windows CE environment, or a Windows embedded environment. There are separate licenses for each, so please be sure to specify the specific type you're interested in. The development is done on a PC and can be transferred to a Windows CE or Windows embedded system. With this demo, you can see many of the features and learn how to create the different objects and animations. Here's a few examples of some screens and graphics and the abilities of Indusoft. Here's an oil and gas demonstration. Using Modbus RTU, Modbus TCP, or any other automation protocol, you can bring your device statuses and graphically show the status of these, create reports, do data logging, and sometimes do controls using the Indusoft software. Let's see, for instance, right here, if you had a cellular network which communicated by Modbus, you would have different cellular devices connected at each wind station and broadcast to a central computer, which could simply display the status of the windmills graphically on the screen for someone to monitor. And when an alarm was triggered from the windmill, the operator would be able to dispatch someone to correct the alarm. Let's see, within food and beverage, Modbus RTU and Modbus TCP networks are heavily used for monitoring conveyor belts, flow and level, as well as pick and place for robotics and packaging machines. You can create alarm windows. In the wastewater, again, liquid level and valve status, alarm status, and trending is another major feature of Indusoft. You can graphically see the status of your devices and control them by a simple click to turn things on or off. It has many different animation and recipes and objects. Here's a few of them. With this demo does come with Indusoft as a default, so it's installed on your PC, and you can simply use this to learn how to use each object. I'll show you in a few minutes. For bar graphs, you can see the bar graph animation, how it fills up, fills down, fills to the side, or fills towards the middle. You can control color changes. You can display numerically your value that's being read from your Modbus device or other protocol devices. There's different gauges and animations, active objects over here. We can create combo boxes, list boxes, grids, momentary push buttons, maintain push buttons, check boxes. With recipes, you can create recipes for your application to make things simpler. Reports are a major feature of Indusoft for data logging. You can use the report feature to save the data to your computer for like FDA or certification. Let's see, you can create reports and you can save them in many different formats, and you have the ability to export them or view them. Trend curves, a very popular feature of SCADA in general, but Indusoft can definitely do trending. Here's an example, let's see, of just as data simulation. Alarms. Alarms help to make sure the events that are supposed to happen, happen. And you can monitor the alarms from a central workstation, and like the windmill application, if an alarm occurs, you'll know where it's occurring, and you can dispatch somebody to that specific job site, or windmill in that case. Let me exit this, and let me just give you a few examples. Okay, using this demo, in the screens category, specifically the animation category, you can simply double-click on, say, an object. This object right here, this oval right here, it feels like sideways or towards the middle to the outside. Just simply double-click and look at the properties. With these properties, you can see that the animation is towards the center and the direction is horizontal, and you can use a tag to control the animation of the bar graph to display the animation of this specific oval. Let's see, with this a flame right here, you can see that in the animation, when it was actually running, you can see it growing and shrinking. By double-clicking here and looking at the properties, you can look at the properties and see how that's done. So it goes from 40% of its full size to 100% of its full size, and it's based on this tag's changing of value. Let's see, the help screens are also very useful in Indusoft. For instance, help, and let me just do help. And we can type in the search box animation, and we'll learn how to do, I don't know, size animation or rotation animation, resize animation. So this gives you the picture of the properties window, as well as a very detailed description of each individual field. Let's see, with Indusoft, you just simply connect your Modbus device or any other device. Let's see, let me show you a list of the tags, or drivers rather. So within drivers, we have all these different drivers from Allen Bradley, from Siemens, Omron, Bosch, CAN Protocol, Omron, Cutler Hammer. There's numerous, all the popular ones, and then some. Let's see, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them for you. I guess I'll pass this back to Maria, or if anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box.
So Floyd is asking, what capabilities does Indusoft have in downloading data to Excel or in some Excel format? And so you can log the data to CSV format, and you can open that in Excel.
Actually, let me show you that one screen. Let's see. Let me go back here. Let me run the demo. Oh, darn. I did that, didn't I? Here. Let me just go over here to the graphics screen, and I'll show you. Let's see, reports. So within the reports screen, you can, by clicking, you could learn the properties for the Save buttons and the View features within Indusoft report windows. So for instance, you can do TXT format, CSV, RTF, or HTML format. Probably CSV would be the most useful for exporting to Excel. And once you export it or save it as a CSV format, you simply open Excel, and when you search for the file, you can find it, and there should be an option to view the CSV file format. Does this answer your question, Floyd?
And then also, can you show or explain how to integrate Indusoft with Modbus devices? Usman is asking. And also Floyd wanted you to demonstrate how to do the export to Excel.
Okay, well, let's see. I don't have any file right now, but I can create an example and send it to you. Oops, let me just close this. Okay, for communication within Indusoft, first you need to click on the Communication tab. Then you click on Driver, and there's already a Modbus device here, but let me show you anyways. So you click on Add Remove Drivers. For Modbus TCP, you would look for MOTCP, which I guess is added right down here. Otherwise, it would appear at the list. Then you click OK, so it's added over here. So notice that. And then when you double-click on it, you'll get a main driver sheet. For this, you double-click on it. You create your tag. You create an AI tag, for instance. You put in your IP address, port 502, and device or Modbus ID or device ID is 1. And then you put your tag number. For this would be like analog input 3x, which is for an analog input register and address 1. And it's read-only because it's analog input. If you had an analog output, oops, just do this. Let me do it from scratch. So say 1. You just click on it. It'll ask you if you want to add it. You click yes, and you just declare the type. So integer is fine. Then you type in the IP address 192.168. Oops. .1.25. Let's just assume there's both analog input types on this device. And you would simply do 4x colon 25 if you wanted it. And it's read-write. And if you needed to do some scaling or something, you would do that over here. Did this answer your question? And if you wanted to, say, create a graphics for the screen, you just we'll select the window, home screen, and then we'll do insert. Oh, graphics. I'm sorry, graphics. There we go. And a text box. Just draw a text box. Double click on it. Select here for the tag and integers. I think what I did AO0 and click OK. And now when the project was running, if we had a device connected, you would see your value here in this box. And if there needed to be formatting or something, you can do that after the fact, or you can just click on the properties and you do scaling here or masking. Any other questions?
So if you have any other questions at any time, please feel free to contact us. We would love to help you with applications. We also provide training classes and programming services if needed. We have many different kinds of solutions. So if we can help you, please just let us know and hope to hear from you.
Okay, and
Thank
I'll
you.
create hopefully a video showing how to export, I guess, some real data. I'll need to connect some devices here, and I'll create a Excel or a CSV file, and then show how to view it in Excel.
Okay, and Robert will send it to me, and I'll send it out to everyone that's in the webinar. Thank you for attending, and hope you have a great weekend.